About 7. Running a couple minutes late. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Mortgage Monday on a Tuesday. Just wanted to apologize for not getting out yesterday, guys. I know I have been horrible with getting back to Mortgage Monday. You know what? The last couple of weeks have been extremely tough. Last week was of course, month end. We had a bunch of loans closing here, and of course, that's where my time needs to be spent. So not that I didn't want to come on Mortgage Monday, because I know you guys look forward to it. I had so many people reach out and actually give me a fair amount of shit about it and say, Chris, where are you for Mortgage Monday? We need to hear you. We want to hear what's going on in the mortgage world. And so much has been going on. I'm probably going to dabble on a few things tonight. But I wanted to apologize about not being there last week. And then yesterday, I was actually at a mastermind event in Edgewater, New Jersey, right outside of New York, where I got to meet up with a lot of fellow real estate agents that I'm really close with. And we got to sit down together, kind of work some things out on what's going on in today's industry, what's affecting our businesses, what things are working in our businesses, in all hopes of improving ourselves and improving each other. So I was actually driving home during the hours of Mortgage Monday last night, and I didn't want to go live and drive because you should never do that. So I definitely apologize about that. But the good news is we are Delaware State Housing Authority approved. So I'm sure you guys have seen the Delaware State Housing Authority logo, and I think there's a big bus that drives around Delaware. Actually, you probably see that, kiss your landlord goodbye. So this is something that I've been working on for the past couple months, and I know I announced that we were approved, but I don't think I actually went through kind of what the program's about, what it does. And we successfully closed our first one last month, and we have another one that is closing tomorrow and another one that I'm actually putting in process tomorrow. So we are starting to get into this program pretty heavy. So I wanted to break it down for you because in my mind, it is one of the better down payment assistance programs out there in Delaware, Newcastle County. Of course, it works in Kent and Sussex as well. But I wanted to go over it. So if you're a first-time home buyer or even a home buyer and you're buying a second home, you're still able to get the down payment assistance program. So loan programs that are accepted, number one, FHA, VA, USDA, conventional. So if you're looking at any of those, of course, with FHA, you're required 3.5% down. If you are looking at a conventional loan, it is a 5% down loan. VA and USDA, obviously 0% down, which is great. But the good news is with this program, so they are going to give you, Delaware State Housing Authority is going to give you a portion of the down payment. And the way that works is the interest rate associated with the amount is associated with the amount of money that you borrow. So let's pull up their rate sheets for today. Let's see if I can do that quickly. All right. So for example, let's say you have a little bit of money saved, but you're getting into the pre-approval process and you realize, hey, this down payment's definitely going to be more than the money I have saved, and we're going to need some money for closing costs as well. So Delaware State Housing Authority has a 5% down payment program that you're able to get. So if you're purchasing a $100,000 house, they're going to give you $5,000 towards your down payment and closing costs. Now, that does have a fixed interest rate associated with that. And of course, with each of their programs, each of the interest rates is tiered to the amount of money that you're borrowing. So for example, the 3% down payment assistance program that you can get has a lower interest rate than the 5%. But the good news is, on an FHA deal where you can request 6% seller help, and if we're getting a 4% credit from Delaware State Housing Authority towards your down payment, down payment, you can move into the house with zero to no money down.
I mean, that's pretty incredible to me. The loan that we closed on Friday, they actually received money back at closing. So this was a client that had gone through the whole process and they got a check back at closing. Tell me the last time somebody's bought a house and they got money back at closing. It happens when you're doing an awesome program like this. And, I know a lot of lenders in Delaware really don't like working with it simply because it does take a little bit longer to do. There is added documentation. But this is a program that I actually did myself, 6-7 years back. And back then, the program actually charged interest. And it was an interest-bearing down payment assistance program. The program today is 0% interest. This is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, this Delaware State Housing Authority is literally giving you the opportunity to not have to come out of pocket with anything on the purchase of your home, as long as we structure it the right way with getting seller help and things like that. And this is for conventional buyers as well. What better than putting 5% down on a conventional loan and then getting that down payment assistance too? So this is really giving homeowners who may not have a lot of money saved a new opportunity to buy a house that they normally didn't have. There's so many great programs that we at GSF Mortgage have out there, which is fantastic. But this is one of the greatest down payment assistance programs that I am standing behind, and I am extremely excited to offer. Just so you guys know a little bit more, minimum credit requirement is a 620. So if you're a little bit lower down in the credit field, as long as you have a 620, we would be able to move forward. You do have to go through first-time home buyers counseling. If you're under a 660 credit score, the counseling is required. I can assure you it's very easy. There is an online portion associated with the counseling, and then you have a one-on-one with the counselor as well, which takes maybe about a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour max, and you're able to get that done. The other good thing is there is no minimum on the purchase price, which is fantastic. And kind of depending on where your income lies, you may be eligible for a MCC, which is a mortgage tax credit. So for those of you that don't know about the tax credit, it is a $2,000 credit that you are able to get and use to help you out on tax time. Now, your income does have to be below a certain point. So that is something that I definitely recommend. Of course, ask me or ask your loan officer that you're working with, but it is a, fantastic tax credit program that literally is going to give you back money at the end of the year when you file your taxes. There is a small application fee of $350 on that, but it is still absolutely fantastic, and it's just for first-time homebuyers out there, so that's great. So this is definitely something that we're going to continue to grow with. We are going to do more and more and more of these. We're going to do a lot more advertising on this as well, because we do want people to know that, hey, GSF Mortgage is Delaware State Housing Authority approved. We do have this down payment and closing cost assistance program, and we are finally getting our groove on. So are going to be as efficient on these loans as we are everything else. So I'm really excited about that. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, just because it came up so recently, and I know I made a post about it last week, the Fed increased the rates again, guys. I mean, this is something that we've been battling literally for the last 2 to 3 years, where the Fed has started increasing the rates. 2016 was a very phenomenal year. I was originating loans that had an interest rate of 2.75. And I actually did a loan for a very good friend of mine, and she got down to a 3% flat on an FHA mortgage. And, I joke around with her to this day and say, hey, Chelsea, you have the lowest interest rate that I've ever done on an FHA loan. That's a 30-year fixed. So, that's fantastic. Hold on, quick call. Rob, I'm in the middle of Mortgage Monday. Can you either tune on to Facebook or give me a call later? All right, I'll call you right back after this. All right, bye. Rob says hi. All right, so yeah, so what, rates are not what they were in 2016, and this is definitely something that people need to start becoming aware of and start understanding. The Fed, when the Fed increases the interest rate, what does that do to the market? Makes the market go all kinds of craziness. The 10-year bond goes up, and what does that do? That makes interest rates rise as well. That makes the pricing get worse, and the interest rates are going up and up and up. So if you guys watched the Fed meeting last Wednesday, basically promised 3 more rate hikes in 2019. This is crazy. This is something that is, as of right now, is still going to happen. And, people talk to me all the time, and they're like, oh, well, I'm just going to wait another month or two when the rates drop down. Well, that's great, but unfortunately, in the next month or two, that's not promised. It's not promised that the rates are going to go down. It's not promised that, that interest rate that you were quoted last month is going to come back or get better. That's not the way it is. And it's been a tough pill for people to swallow. And it's been especially tough on, loan officers and mortgage lenders and things like that, because they're battling with these rate hikes. And, they're battling doing pre-approvals a week ago and then coming back in, and that interest rate that they offered is no longer available. That's why it's very, very important, that you need to be in constant contact with your mortgage lender. You have to have great communication between that lender. If your lender doesn't pick up the phone or answer your call, drop them. If your lender's not there to take the time to explain what's going on in the market, explain why, all this volatility is so important to just monitor what you're currently doing. Because I've pre-approved people that may not find a house for 6 months. Well, when I pre-approved them back in January, everything's a lot different now in August. So what month are we in? October. So it's definitely important to stay in contact. The rates, of course, did go up. So anybody who's out there shopping right now, follow up with your lender. Hey, I saw that the market changed. Does this have any effect on my, interest rate? Is this going to affect my closing costs at all? Because these are the things that it's going to affect. And you need to hold, yourselves accountable for trying to be in the know, because a lot of times your lender may not bring that up to you, and that is very important. And, one of the things that we were kind of talking about yesterday is, accountability and how we hold ourselves accountable. And, I do my best to get back to every client I talk to within 24 hours. And granted, sometimes I fail at that, and, it may take another day to get back to you. But at the end of the day, if you're doing the right thing and you're there and you're staying in your lane and you're focusing on helping that person, you're doing the right thing. People come to me joking around and say, oh, Chris, you didn't do Mortgage Monday. And that's great. And I really appreciate that, because if I help one person out of this broadcast tonight for 13 minutes, I did my job. A lot of people like jumping on and, supporting, and I definitely greatly appreciate that. But the point is to help somebody that may be looking to buy a house, maybe looking to refinance, to give them a piece of information that they didn't have before. Maybe somebody on here tonight is looking to buy a home and they don't have, a large amount of money saved. Maybe Delaware State Housing Authority is one of the best options out there. I hope that person picks up the phone and gives me a call. Chris, how can I find more about this? Can we take a look at this, 5% down grant that you're able to get with, Delaware State Housing Authority? That's what I want out of Mortgage Monday, and that's what I want to kind of bring it back to. I've been looking into having some more guests on probably the end of the month. October is going to be a insane month for me, actually, and it's going to get very busy. So I am looking forward to helping each and every one of you. As always, you guys have my email. If not, I'll drop all of that in the content section. Feel free to shoot me a message. Anything about Delaware State Housing Authority, anything about mortgages, anything about rates. I am literally an open book, and I'm here to add value to you. So I hope you guys have a kick-ass week. I got to get back to the grind. I got some more loan docs to go out tonight, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. And hello, everybody that joined. Goodbye. Yes!